captains for this week are Selby and Yurchek on offense. On defense, we have Corey Tyndall and Evan McKelvey. For the first time in the history of my coaching career, we've named a kicker as a captain, and that's Tyler Williams. So I got a little nervous doing that, but the kid deserves it. And he's had just done a tremendous job. And I don't know if I've ever been around a guy in all my years that's done what this kid's done as the punter. So proud of all of them. And, I've said many times when you go on the road to play a game, you got to take your leadership and your toughness with you. So that's going to be critical again this week. We're going down there to play an FAU team that's got the same quarterback that took him to become bowl eligible 3 years ago. He's given us fits every time we've played him. He looks like an offensive guard playing quarterback, but he can make all the throws. He can run. You guys have seen him as much as I have, so he creates problems for you. And I've said many times when I talked about Southern Miss a week ago, whenever time you're located in a fertile recruiting ground like Southern Miss is, you're going to have good players, and FAU's even better. I mean, there's more players within a 2-hour radius of that campus than there is any school in our league. And you saw their facilities at the Boca Bowl. You've seen them down there before. They got tremendous facilities. They got a great staff that work at recruiting, so they got good players or great players at every position. So it's going to be a challenge for us. And, again, anytime you go on the road, you got to have a great week of preparation. You got to have great leadership, and you got to go down there because it is a business trip. If you don't go down there prepared, you get beat. So, it's a big game for them because we made it a big game. And I think when you get to a point, and when you get to a point where we are right now is when you expect and your ultimate goal is to play for championships. Once you get into conference play, every game's a Super Bowl. Every game's a championship game. You better treat every one of them that way or you don't get where you want to go. So we treat every game that way, and this one can't be any different for us to go down there and accomplish what we need to accomplish. So that's where it is, and you got to have a great week of preparation starting today.
Talked to several of the guys yesterday. They said they feel like that after this past week they found their identity. Is this a good time of the season for them to find that before they take that tough road trip to Florida?
I think it's important for a football team, and I like where we are because I think we've gotten better every week. I think that's what teams do. You got every year's a new year, and you get to a point about this time in the season where teams start to go in different ways in different directions. And one thing I like about our team that I think from the first game to the second game where we just took a step back a little bit. But then the next 3 games, I saw improvement, every week from those guys. And ultimately, last week was the best game we played to date, and it has to continue. But to answer your question, I don't think there's any question. Our guys are playing with a lot of confidence right now, which is huge. They feel good about themselves, and I think we're getting better as a team. And ultimately, whenever you go out there and step on that field, whatever Saturday is, you have to be the best team on that field. You may not be the best offense, you may not be the best defense. You got to be the best team in all 3 phases, and we've done that for the last couple of weeks, and that's critical that happens again Saturday.
I know statistically, you look and you're 1/10 in the nation in offense, but with the way your defense and special teams have played, is it more about efficiency than getting statistics?
Well, it is. I mean, we scored quite a few points being the 110th team in America, but that being said, we have some short fields. You don't get quite, when you go 40 yards to score, you don't get quite as many yards you do when you got to go 90, so. And don't get me wrong, we got to get better offensively. I mean, I'm not saying we're not even close to being where we need to be. We got to get better in third down conversions. I'm sure you would remind me of that here in a little bit. But that being said, if you can play great defense, that's where it all starts. And I think from the day I took the job, I said to win championships, you have to play great defense to get that accomplished. And then if you can take the second phase of it, which are special teams, and play great special teams, and just take care of the ball offensively. Just take care of it. And when you get in the red zone, score. We were 100% scoring, and we got in the red zone Saturday. So if you take care of it, score when you get down there, and do the other 2 things, and you got a pretty good shot at winning the game. And that's what's happened the last couple of weeks. And we just got to continue again to get better offensively to get where we want to go.
You mentioned third downs. So we'll go ahead and talk about it. But it seemed like Southern Miss was just completely loading the box, 8 and 9 guys on the third and shorts especially. And is it one of those deals where you all are starting to gain that trust for Chase to be able to go run pass option on those downs instead of just going to a straight call?
Well, we have to be. In the one critical third down, we threw the one naked to Yurchek, or third, fourth down, maybe fourth down, and I think it was fourth down. We threw the thing to Yurchek there on that one deal, a week ago, whatever it was. But you have to be able to. You have to be able to take what that defense gives you. If it's 3rd and 2, and as you mentioned, you got too many a minute, you got to be able to throw a slant or a bubble or a fade or not a fade. But sometimes it's a fade because of what they give you, and have confidence that you're going to go make that play. So, to answer your question, yeah, we have to be able to do that. And I think the last 3 years or whatever, we were one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country on total offense. We were able to do those things, and and we got the skill set to do it. We just got to have confidence, and they got to have confidence that we can go do that. And the more they play, the better they'll get. And I think you've seen. I think not only have we grown as a team, we've grown at the quarterback position. You see him every week, I think, taking another step. But the one thing is he's 4-0. And that's really the only stat that matters. And if we continue to stay on that deal, we'll be fine.
Doc, you were concerned in camp about your defensive ends, and you got to be pleasantly surprised with what they've done so far.
Well, you know what? We challenged some guys to play their measurables. And they remember hearing me talk about that way back during camp. And Gary Thompson was one of those guys we talked about. Play to your measurables. He's a 10-600 meter guy in high school. He can lift the weight room. He's got great verticals. He's got great long. We'll play to those measurables, and he is. He's doing a great job of playing fast, which is what he has to do. And Ryan B coming along, I never dreamed, to be honest, that he would come as fast as he has. And he's between him and Gary and what we're getting out of those other guys in there. There's some guys that are playing up to their measurables, and then you add DJ Hunter's coming off the edge. And we got some good blitzers with Evan, and I think Petty's helped us. I know Petty's helped us because he's a good blitzer. He's got a good skill set that he can go in there and do pressure, give some pressure at times too.
Seems like last year there were some opportunities, whether it was fumbles on the ground that you all weren't able to come up with or interceptions that got dropped. It seemed like you all are doing a better job of taking advantage of those opportunities.
We're doing a much better job of creating turnovers. That was another thing coming out of last year. Anytime you finish up a year, even if it was a tremendous year and you won a championship, you look at ways to get better. And one of the things we talked about was getting better at creating turnovers on defense. And we're spending more time on that in practice. But when you got good players, and the DJ strip there at the end on the 1 4th down situation, and I think we're so much ahead. Jason gave you the numbers, but we're so much ahead. I know we're like +4, +6 in the last 2 games, and of course they had 5 on Saturday, so that's huge. Anytime you can create 5 turnovers, only give it, and one's too many. But if you're +4, there's a pretty good chance you're going to win that game, and that's what happened.
Their defensive front, compare them to somebody else you've seen this year. I've heard all the guys talk about that they're really athletic, but they're really skilled too.
They are. You look at that front; they'll be as good a front four as we'll face all year, and maybe the best we faced to date. And they got good skill. The one number 7, he played from Belgrade there. He started the last couple of years, so that they're good in the secondary, and they got linebackers that can run. So like I say, it'll be a good challenge for us.
You got a team and lost by 1 this weekend at home. And it's got to be kind of desperation time for FAU. They're sitting at 1-4 right now, but they're 1-1 in the league. They still got a shot.
Oh, there's no doubt. And like I say, it's they'll rally, and like I say, we always take their best shot. The best game they played a year ago, I'm sure it was up here. And then what was it, 2 years ago? We were back down there. It was a dogfight. Had to kick a field goal there at the end to win it. So. We know our kids will understand by the end of the week what we're getting into when we go down there. We better be extremely well prepared and be ready to play, match their intensity, or we got no chance.
Is this team, you flip on the video, can you just tell it's a little faster than most of the rest of the league?
Well, there's no doubt they're skilled. They got as much skill as anybody in our league, and defensively they run as well as anybody in our league, and that's because where they're located. And so to answer your question, yeah, they look like a Southern Miss athletic team out there, and we know that the thing they got a great punter. They got a tremendous punter. Him and Tyler are neck and neck, and their kickoff guys like Curry, he kicks them all non-returnable. So there's some very similarities in the kicking game because of the 2 guys that got kicking the ball.
You got a guy like Jock Johnson that big body likes to run. How much does some of the bigger backs that you face this year help you prepare for what you have to do with him in open space?
Well, the thing that happens with him is when they run him is – you always create that extra. You always get that extra. You got to have that extra hat in the box. You lose a hat because it's a quarterback. They spread you out there, and he always gives you another gap that you got to have a hard time getting control because all the quarterback runs that go along with it. So, he's a load. You tackle him and you'd execute your technique a year ago, and right out here, and you look up and it's 2nd and 5. Because he's 200. They list him at 240. He looks like he's 260. He's big and physical and strong and. The thing about him, he's got a great lower body. You look at him, and he's not a fat guy. He's just got a great lower body, and he's got extremely strong legs. And when you hit him, we had guys. DJ Hunter, I was watching tape there this morning. Is a good tackling linebacker, and he bounces off of him. Last year, so he's a handful. You got to gang tackle him, and you better tackle him low.
How much will your kids take the positives of the bowl game last year? Same arena, same.
And the arena's great. And it's we've played down there a lot, and so our kids, they've been in that locker room, and we're still going to go there, Friday, and we're going to go over and take a look at it and let those. There's a few kids that are on that trip that hadn't been through there, but I don't think there's any doubt that going down there for the bowl game and spend as much time as we had down there and playing down there a year ago that it's our kids they like playing there.
You block out a little time again for your Florida kids.
I do, yeah. Again, Woody, it's not fair for me to take those kids down there and not be able to see their families, and so they'll have hour and a half, 2 hours prior to we send them up. We take them to their rooms at 9 o'clock, and so they'll have from 7 to 9 or 7:15 to 9 to get with their families. It's fun. I enjoy seeing them too.
Unfortunate situation over the weekend with Deontay. How do you all handle that as a coach with an erroneous arrest like that, and try and make sure that that doesn't become a distraction?
Well, I mean, it's just it's unfortunate, and I have great respect for the police chief in Huntington, and we got a great relationship with those guys, and it's a mistake. And that being said, you hate it for the kid, but that's we work extremely hard to have a relationship with the city of Huntington, the police department, and all that. We're all in this thing together. We are, and the only thing so there's no sense in pointing the finger here and there. Let's just fix it. I mean, let's fix whatever the reason it happened, so it doesn't happen again. So. I'm sure it just didn't happen to one of it. Just because if it had been your brother or Jason or somebody, nobody even known about it. Maybe it happened to be a football player. I'm sure it happened several other times. So let's just make sure we fix the situation so somebody else doesn't have to go through it. And that's all we care about. And whatever I can do to help it, I will. But Police Chief Joe, and I talked to him and talked to the mayor, and we're all on the same page. And we're all in this thing together. So we're not going to point fingers. We're just going to fix it and move on.
Deontay handling everything.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine.
How nice was it to have DJ and Remy back on the field
It's
at the
great.
same time?
Yeah, it was great. And we're fortunately we're about as healthy as we've been all year. We've got we're going to have more guys out there practicing today than we've had probably since the first game. So that's a good feeling. Especially having those two guys back out there. We've been playing a lot of young kids there, but we fought through that area, that stretch there where we had to play some young kids to get through it, and we did. And we'll be better for it down the road because at some point throughout the rest of the year, we're going to need some of those young kids who got the experience because of the guys that we're missing.
Did you take that back from the same thing you had to do last year? First couple of games, you had a lot of guys banged up, had to play a lot of the younger guys.
I think most of that last year was during two-a-day camp with Van Horn and some of those guys. But a lot of those guys we played a year ago because we got situations in the second half we could do that. Unfortunately, this year we haven't had quite the luxury in the second half of some of these games to play some of the younger kids. So. They're getting it, unfortunately, for injury reasons, not because we're in a situation in the game we can play them. So I'd rather have it like it was last year, but it hadn't been that way.
You think Van Horn, Pittman, and Massaquoi, they practiced today?
Massaquoi does. I'm not sure about the other two at this point, but Joe's fine. Joe's fine.
How much do the injuries play into the offensive continuity when you've got a new quarterback coming in, whether it was Birdsong or Litton coming in? You've had Johnson out, Watson out, senior guys out.
Well, there's no doubt because number one, the leadership they provide, the blitz pickup. I mean, those guys are a lot more comfortable with Remy and Devin in there. They've been picking up blitzes for 4 years, and I got some young freshmen, and their eyes are about that big around when they get out there. So there's a lot more confidence, I'm sure, in Chase. But that being said, I mean, Pittman's done a tremendous job. I mean, that kid went in there and he did a tremendous job, and he's going to be a really good player. Unfortunately, he's been out now for a week or so we should get him back, pretty quick. But he did a tremendous job while he was in there.
But besides Liz Johnson, FAU lost, I believe, their best running back in the Miami game. How is he, and what kind of what specific skill players do we look for on that offense this week?
Doug, he got a rib deal or something in the Miami game, and I don't think he's seen the field since. So we don't know really what his status is. But they got the same back that played against us a year ago. He's Buddy Howe. He's 6'1", 205, number 9. He played primarily against us a year ago. He's back, and he's a really good back. That he's been a primary guy anyway. But you're right. But the kid against Miami got hurt in the Miami game.
They lost Lucky Whitehead. How are
Yeah,
they
he was-
receivers?
He was a player now. He's playing, I think, for Dallas now or somebody. But he was a headache. But they've got good skill. I mean, they got really good skill. They got the little kid number 1 out there that's he's a really good player, Henry Bussey. I mean, he's kind of replaced him. He's wearing number 1, and he's very athletic, and he can go.
How different are Johnson and Driscoll? Just because, Johnson's been a little bit banged up too, is it one of those situations you got to prepare differently for both?
No, not really. They don't change their offense a whole lot. They don't change a lot. And Driscoll can make all the throws. His brother was at Florida, and now he's at Louisiana Tech there. So he's a talented guy that went in and played wasn't the Rice Buffalo game. Went in and played against Buffalo and played well. Matter of fact, in the Rice game after the rain delay, they put him in there for the 2-point play. So they got great confidence in him, and they feel good about what he can do. So we expect to see Johnson, and if not, this other guy is a good player that we'll have problems with.
How difficult are those situations, like what they faced last week? They go in the end zone, the lightning delay, they're up 26-14, and then all that momentum after 90 minutes goes away.
And normally when you're at home, you got the advantage, to be honest, and you'd rather be at home in that situation because you got a bigger locker room, and normally you got some snacks and you got some things put away that you can give the kids. But it's tough. I mean, we went through that. We've been there, done that, and it's not fun. So hopefully we don't have to do it again.
Your offensive players were talking about their front four and the fact they want to try to get their push with the front four and not necessarily blitz. I mean, and you said that may be a pretty talented aspect of their defense.
Trevor Cole is tremendous. He's a tremendous player. They're all big guys that can run, very athletic, and like I say, they'll be as good a front four, if not the best that we've seen to date. They're good.
You look at Tyler Williams, production this year, and everybody looks at stats for punters and things like that, but the little things like the dummy snap that he did to get you all 7 instead of 3, how many of those things are just senior veteran plays?
Well, they are. I mean, the thing about the amazing, I think Steve mentioned it, is he's averaged almost 40 yards a net punt, but he's pinned like 20 of them down inside the 10-yard line. So, and his average is still 45 yards. So I mean, he's had like 20 of his 20 of his 40 punts were like inside the 10, where he loses distance because he's got the hang time where he's placing them down in there. So, that's been huge. I mean, the one thing I think with our kickoff team and our kickoff return team last week, we ended up starting at the 42-yard line, and they ended up starting at 23. So you can just see the difference in the field position just in that part of it. And on the punt game, it was the same way. I mean, we had them pinned back way back the entire game just about because of our punt. And on the other hand, we got great field position. We didn't return a lot of punts, but because of what they were doing, we had it set up to where. But the field position we gained in those 2 units, that's what special teams is all about. It's about flipping the field position. It's about creating field position, and that's the one thing we've been able to do because of our kickoff with Curry, because of our punt with Tyler, because of our kickoff return with Reeves in that unit. We've been able to win that battle with field position. That's helped our offense because we struggled a bit on offense, but we've been able to manage because of the field position we've gained because of our special teams.
Where you've seen a lot of punters in your day. Where you see Tyler fitting in the mix of guys you've seen?
He's the kid we had at Florida, Henry, was tremendous. I think maybe still be in the NFL. The guy McAfee was a tremendous punter. He's still in the NFL. I think Tyler's got a shot to be with that group. You just don't like to say the guy's right up there. The guy's been in the NFL 10, 12 years at this point, but he's got that kind of ability. And the thing about him, he works at it. He's such a great kid that works extremely hard at it, and he's never an issue. And he's such a great kid to be around. He'll play a long time if he's got that kind of ability, which I think he does.
Nick Smith quietly giving you 7, 8 points a game.
Just don't even mention Nick Smith. Act like he's not even out there. Don't even talk about him. But I just don't know what he has. I mean, but like I say, he's stepped up there and he's done that.
A little bit surprising for, I think, all of us yesterday hearing about Coach Spurrier. What are some of your fun memories of old ball coach?
Oh, gosh. He never knew what he was going to say. He kind of said what he wanted to, which was kind of neat. But, he was number one. He's a tremendous coach. Without he just where he's been, you get guys that just are successful wherever he's been. And what he did at Florida, what he did at South Carolina, and maybe his best coaching job he ever did was at Duke. When he won the ACC, I think he won the ACC championship at Duke. I mean, maybe the one and only. and they, and Cuckle's done a tremendous job there. But the guys just I wish I could be more like him, but he doesn't seem like he just kind of goes and happy-go-lucky guy. So.
Doc, it's your first early kickoff this season. You gotta like the fact that you don't have to wait around the
Yeah.
hotel.
That's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I like early kickoff. You just got to get them up and go, and you got to make sure that when they get out of bed and hit down that elevator, they're ready to go play. So seems like we've all been 3:30, I think, to this point. So we're getting pretty good at 3:30 now. We got to fool around and figure out how to get there at noon, I guess. So
You had all those noon, 1 o'clock kickoffs at Morgantown. It's kind of ingrained in you, isn't it?
we had a bunch last year.
Yeah.
We've had them here the last couple of years. I think we had 2 or 3, didn't we, Jace, last year, noon games. So we've had them all. We got a schedule we follow, and we've got something for whatever time it is. We've got a set schedule that we go by, and the other team's got to get up and do the same thing. So see what happens.